Hello everyone, welcome back to Cinderella Phenomenon. I know it's been a hot minute since I've done this, but I told you I'd bring it back. Um, so last we left off, we were doing the Karma route. I think we were getting close to him confessing to us, but I'm not certain. So let's go on and get into it. Yes, we found out that his name is actually Klaude, and he's a prince, which, alright. Jurgen and Garland. You might even say we're dating. And he's flustered. Isn't it funny how red he gets, princess? You were blushing just as much yesterday when I... One more word and I swear I'll punch you. Two of them are both blushing now, and the scene is oddly comical. Who knew that the two great knights of the Order of Caldera could be so easily undone? Both of you are amusing to watch. The two of them stare at me, suddenly solemn-faced. I suddenly remembered that one conversation the knights all had at the castle. They were talking about how they all had personal reasons for being knights, despite the fact that they all served the king. I'd always thought Jurien and Garland were stoic and honorable, and that their only reason for becoming knights was a sense of justice. Seeing them here, though, without that stoic facade, they feel more like people. My curiosity is piqued. Do you mind if I ask what your reasons were for becoming knights? Oh, my father was a knight. He put his life on the line for this kingdom. Jurien's father was a living legend in his own right, and he had the medals to back it up. My father wasn't around a lot, but I always admired him. Judging by the look on Jurien's face, it's clear to me that she really loves her father. My mother died when I was young, and because my father couldn't be around all the time to take care of me, I ended up practically living with Lan and his family. Lan always got annoyed when I called him my brother. Now I know why. Jurien wanted to follow in her father's footsteps. Then why did you join the Knights, Garland? Because he wanted to watch over me. I never knew you blushed so easily, Garland. Garland used to blush even harder at that, and Jurien's laughter becomes infectious. I feel amusement begin to bubble up as I watch the two of them. But a cold voice cuts through the laughter and atmosphere like a hot blade through ice. Could you keep it down over there? I turn and see that Klaude's eyes, normally so warm, are cold. His usual smile is gone, replaced with a deep scowl. Oh, sorry. He's still glaring at the two of them. Oh, I can tell him about the necklace. Karma, I got another piece to my necklace. Another good deed. Klaude turns his gaze to me, but the frown doesn't disappear. That's nice, darling. His voice is calm, but flat and lacks any enthusiasm. That felt lackluster. And oddly disappointing. A good deed? Congratulations, princess. You're close to breaking your curse. What'd you get the good deed for? I'm not sure, actually. Maybe it was helping Lan confess? I hear you and Karma went out of your way to help make it happen. That happened yesterday, though. Maybe the magic was waiting to see what became of Garland and I. Klaude makes a dismissive hand gesture from his table, frowning. If you two insist on being so affectionate, you should get a room. Affectionate? Jurien's smile faded away into a dingy scowl, where Garland looks confused. Jurien looks notably irritated. The shadow is still there on his face. Klaude does not look okay at all. We're gonna save real quick, because I don't know which one is the right one here. Something must be really bothering him. I should be patient with him, just like he is with me. Before I can even think about what I'm doing, I reach out to grab his hand. He just slapped my hand away. Okay, that was incorrect. You shouldn't just reach out to touch a person without giving them some warning. But he does it all the time with me. I put my hand back, and at the same moment, his expression falls. He looks at me with an almost pained expression on his face. No, wait. I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry. Silence descends for a few moments before Klaude abruptly stands up from his table. Excuse me. Klaude turns briskly and heads upstairs, leaving me with the two knights. I wonder what's wrong with him. You think we've been wearing him too thin because of practice? I don't think it's you two. I get the feeling that Klaude holds himself back from saying what he means sometimes. Sometimes he acts strange, distant. And recently he's getting more and more moody. Princess. I look over at Anise, who's smiling apologetically. Sorry to interrupt, but Mr. Broom's getting kind of restless. Time to sweep, I suppose. Well, maybe cleaning will help get my mind off things. I don't think that was the right choice. As the day goes by slowly, I'm stuck cleaning most of the day and then serving later. At one point I speak with Delora about the knights that had attempted to kidnap me, and she tells me that she and Parfait are meeting later to discuss their suspicions. I still don't understand what their suspicions are, when Sir Alcaster cannot possibly know who I am. My hands are sore by the end of the night, but I feel like I can practice with the sword. I notice that both Jurian and Garland look restless too. Garland eventually leaves for patrol, while Jurian remains at a table, looking deep in thought. I don't want to bother her, so I decide to try and find Klaude. Okay. We're gonna go back and see what scolding will do. Oh. Main menu, yes. Continue. Scold him. It doesn't matter if something's bothering him. It isn't like him to be so rude. Irritation is no excuse for rudeness. Fine, I apologize. Happy? He looks at me for a few moments, his expression twisted into a defiant scowl, but it doesn't hold long. Moments later, his expression softens and he looks away, almost in shame. I'm sorry. This apology sounds real. That was right, but still, why do I feel so disappointed? Silence descends for a few moments before Klaude abruptly stands up from his table. Excuse me. Klaude turns briskly and heads upstairs, leaving me with the two knights. I wonder what's wrong with him. You think we've been wearing him too thin because of practice? I don't think it's you two. I get the feeling Klaude holds himself back from saying what he means sometimes. Sometimes he acts strange, distant, and recently he's getting more and more moody. Princess? I'll go ahead and save, since now I know that was the correct choice. I look over at Anise, who's smiling apologetically. Sorry to interrupt, but Mr. Broom's getting kind of restless. Time to sweep, I suppose. Well, maybe cleaning will help get my mind off things. The rest of the day goes by slowly. I'm stuck cleaning most of the day and then serving later. At one point I speak with Delora about the knights that attempted to kidnap me, but she tells me that she and Parfait are meeting later to discuss their suspicions. I still don't understand what their suspicions are when Sir Alcaster couldn't possibly know who I am. My hands are sore by the end of the night, but I still feel like I can practice with the sword. I notice that both Jurian and Garland look restless too. Garland eventually leaves for patrol, while Jurian remains at a table looking deep in thought. I don't want to bother her, so I decide to try and find Klaude. I go to his room, but find his door is locked. Karma, are we training tonight? No answer. My heart sinks. Is he not speaking to me? Did I do something wrong? For days, Klaude stayed in his room, only leaving when he had to be on patrol. A few times I saw Parfait go into his room, but she refused to talk about what's bothering him. I feel so useless. When Klaude did appear in the tavern, or out in the town, he still had that terrible grimace on his face. Look, I really don't want to talk right now. If you're so frustrated with me, why not just ignore me? No, I'm not gonna train tonight. I'm not in the right state of mind. I don't want to talk about it, just leave me alone. Please. I'm really beginning to worry about him. Today I'm in town running errands with Waltz for Parfait. It's been almost a week since Klaude started acting so strangely, so I thought I needed to do something for him. I know he likes dresses and he told me once he likes roses, but can I really find something that'll cheer him up? Perhaps you'd like some jewelry. Waltz, do you remember what jewelry store Karma likes? I don't go there very often, so unfortunately, no. Princess, is this a good deed? Huh? What are you doing right now? Did you think it would be a good deed? Good deeds need to be selfless, right? Generally, yes. I doubt this will count as selfless. I'm doing this to cheer Karma up. That sounds pretty selfless. But it's also so that he goes back to teaching me how to fight instead of sulking in his room. I heard that Karma's been teaching you how to use a sword. Why do you want to learn how to fight? Because I want to be able to protect myself, and it's not like I can use magic. At least sword fighting gives me an advantage. I'm sorry. I wish I could teach you magic, but it doesn't work when you're under a curse. But on your 18th birthday, when you become the Tinderball bearer, you'll be able to use magic. I'll instruct you then if you want me to. That would be nice. That does not solve my current problem. What would cheer Klaude up? Waltz starts chuckling beside me, and I turn to look at him confused. Karma's important to you, isn't he? He's my partner, and he's helped me. He's also been patient with me, and smiled even when I said some really inconsiderate things to him. I'm glad, Princess, that he's your friend. My friend. Klaude does not feel like a friend. He feels like something else. Oh, Princess, is this the one you were searching for? Waltz points to a peddler wearing different kinds of jewelry, and I instantly make my way towards it. There's all kinds of glittering things displayed, and for a few moments I feel myself drawn to everything. Then I notice the price tags. I barely have any money left from when the king gave me that pouch. I can't afford any of this. Maybe we should do our errands first, then look for a gift. Maybe we'll find something as we look through the stores. But if I don't get his gift today, I might not be able to give it to him tonight. Princess? Let's do errands first. Waltz has a good point. We might find something while we do the errands, and then we can get them out of the way. Besides, it's not right for me to put Klaude above everyone else. That's the right choice! Okay. We spend a few hours gathering the supplies needed for the tavern, and only then do we start looking again for Klaude's gift. Princess, I cannot hold any more of those bags for you. It's fine, I'm used... Oh, what do you say? Princess, I can hold more of those bags for you. Oh, I can. It's fine, I'm used to carrying a lot of bags. Does Karma make you carry them around? Princess, you really should tell him off. He does a lot of other things for me, but next time I think I will. As long as he gets out of his room sometime soon. I really hope he does. Hey, Princess. But now the problem is finding something that he'll like. What does he like? Princess! Huh? There's no reason for you to shout. Waltz shakes his head at me, but he's smiling. Let me offer you a deal. A deal? If you help me set up one of my puppet shows, I'll pay you. You earn money from your puppet shows? I get tipped. So, what do you say? I won't go easy on you, though. Yeah, I'll help. Oh. Why do you seem so surprised? I was just thinking that everyone's right. You've really changed, Princess. Maybe having Karma as a partner really was a good idea. Being partners with Klaude may have changed me for the better, but I doubt I've done the same for him. I'm sure Karma would be very happy that you are buying him a gift. Receiving gifts from admirers isn't the same thing as you getting him something. He receives gifts from admirers? For a few moments I think about the woman who chased us in town a few weeks ago, and I feel a little unpleasant stab in my heart. Small things. A man will treat him to dessert every so often. I saw a lot of it when we did errands together. I always make Karma accept those gifts without killing the man. Killing the man is dramatic, but it sounds like Karma. He punched Rumple when he asked him to marry him, joke or not. Karma wears his disguise to be convincing, but then he gets angry when people fall for it. He's still very much a child. You know how he is. He doesn't like being flirted with. Waltz, do you know anything else about Karma's curse? His curse? He never really talks about it. Klaude may be even more stubborn than me if he's not letting anyone help him with his curse. Waltz and I continue our search for a gift. Waltz tells me I can look for something a bit more expensive and that he'll just put me to work on another day by helping him with his puppets. I return the jewelry to the peddler we found earlier. Hello, madam. Sir, oh wait. I return to the jewelry peddler we found earlier. Hello, madam. Sir, what can I help you with today? Do you have any sort of rose-shaped jewelry here? Ramiro refers to me a box full of many different rose-shaped earrings. He then shows me a necklace, and I realize belatedly that it's as if I'm searching for something for Miss Karma, not Klaude. My eyes scan the glass, nearly in defeat, before a little rose catches my attention in the back of the display window. It has a chain connected to it, but it doesn't seem long enough to be a necklace. What's that one? That's our simple rose pendant, madam. It comes with a chain, but it can also be pinned on the chest. Man takes it out of the display case so I can look at it. Yeah? This is fancy, but not completely flashy. I feel a little click as my fingers press the pin, and I realize it can also open. Oh yes, you can also put something small inside of it. This is perfect. I look at the price tag, and after making sure that it's not too expensive, I pay the shopkeeper. Waltz pays him the additional fee, and then we walk back towards the market together. When we return to the market, I go to my room to tuck the locket into a drawer before I head to the tavern to finish the rest of my chores. Just as I expected, Klaude is not downstairs today either. Jurian and Garland have taken a training with each other, though they seem agitated that Claude's not helping them. At the end of the day, I hurry to my room where I write a few words on a piece of paper that I put into the locket. A normal rose would have withered, so I offer this one instead, in heartfelt thanks. I hold the locket tightly in my hand and start towards Claude's room. Why is my heart beating so fast? I'm just giving him a gift. I pause at Claude's door, remembering the last time I entered his room. I'm sure it's okay if I just go in. I open the door to Claude's room, which is thankfully not locked, and step inside. Claude's sitting motionless in front of his mirror, shoulders slumped as he stares at his reflection. He's shirtless, and there's that tattoo. It seems different? Klaude does not notice me at first. I notice that his hand goes to the tattoo over his chest, and then I hear him heave a heavy sigh. Slowly, I close the door behind me. I'm a little worried about... It clicks, and that's when he suddenly turns to look at me. At first, there's just shock in his face, and then suddenly anger. Again, why do you do this again, Carly? I don't know the right choice here. I came to give him something, but I also want to speak with him. I haven't seen him in a while. Why, because you've been doing everything by yourself lately? You come to complain? No, I wanted to check on you. Ah, Princess, can you not read the mood? You could have, at the very least, knocked. Oh. No time at all, Klaude is suddenly right in front of me, his hands outstretched on either side of me, pinning me to the wall against the door. Whoa. His face is so close, his expression so fierce that I can't even bring myself to think of a way out. I can speak English. The only thing I can do is stare at him levelly, without getting angry. Without crying. I will not show any weakness. Why? Why aren't you struggling or screaming at me? That's the Carly that I know would do. Then you don't know me as much as you think you do. And you know nothing about me. I already have a retort prepared when I stop, realizing that he's right. I barely know anything about him. No, I don't. But I'd like to. Why do you insist on poking your nose into others' business? We're partners. That's the only reason it has to be. I'm supposed to help you, so why keep secrets from me? Help me? His lips quirk, but his smile is sardonic. Klaude, I want to help you. In the silence that descends between us, I cannot help but look at his tattoo, at the thorns twirling around the rose. It's beautiful, but it also seems lethal. When I glance at him again, he looks crestfallen, his eyes glittering like he might be on the verge of tears. Secrets are secrets for a reason, Princess. You should know that. If I could speak about them, I would, but I can't, and you bursting into my room without any notice only makes it harder. Harder? For what? Princess, you can't imagine what this all feels like. What is he talking about? And that woman, I thought we were meant to be. Oh, he's upset. Yeah. She was so lovely, her smile as bright as the sun. Klaude's eyes are far away. That's why. Never again. But then you ruined everything. You cut me down like... I pushed my hands against his chest, catching him off guard and forcing him to stumble back. I can't take any of this. If I've ruined everything, then I'll just leave. You can have all the time in the world to yourself then. Look what I'd bought for him burns in my hand, and I end up throwing it at his feet. Carly, wait! I ignore him as I run from the room. When I return to my room and lock my door, I feel too hollow inside for tears. It hurts to breathe when I think of Klaude. I eventually manage to fall asleep, but only have snatches of restless dreams when my eyes finally close. Mother, are you and Father in true love, like the fairy tales? I thought I forbid you to speak of fairy tales. Have you been reading them? No, I overheard someone in the palace talking about him today. Then I shall have to find that person and make sure they know what an appropriate topic of conversation in the palace is. But, Mother, the true love in fairy tales sounds so nice. Do you think I could fall in true love with a prince? Well, I think you have, but it's like 10 years in the future. Dearest one, true love like that does not exist. But the love between a mother and her child is the truest kind. It cannot be replicated by anything else. Fuck them kids. I said it. Fuck them kids. I don't like kids. I don't want kids. Never wanted kids. If that bothers you, you can fuck off. Because this is my channel. But fuck them kids. All other kinds of love is an illusion. My love is all you'll ever need. Do you understand me, my heart? Yes, Mother. Chapter 8, The Lost Prince. Keep your stance straight, Princess. Jiren gives me the warning, but too late on purpose. I can see the smile on her face as she effortlessly slides past my defenses and taps me on the shoulder with her wooden sword. Gotcha. Again. For the last few days I've been practicing with Jurian and Garland because Klaude still hasn't come out of his room. The knights offered to train me, and right now they're teaching me about ways to hold a sword. It's slow, but Klaude did tell me I wouldn't be able to master the sword so quickly. Klaude, he made me so angry that one day that I couldn't even properly give him my gift. Yet I still feel sad that he's not here teaching me himself. Come on, Princess, focus! I jolt out of my reverie and nod at Jurian. Okay. I ready myself for her next strike and once again get tapped, this time on the hip. Garland takes over after Jurian, and then we do rounds where I try to hit them with certain strikes. They're both good at teaching, but it does not feel the same as Klaude's instruction. His lessons seemed less like they were out of a book. Don't worry, Princess, it always starts out slow. Lan was just as slow at training, but look at him now! Garland whips it around in Jurian's direction, his face turning a deep red. Jurian, that nickname! But you're so much fun to tease, Lan! She beams at him and then laughs at his embarrassed face. Our practice goes on for a few more minutes before the knights tell me to wrap up for the night. I think I'm going to stay out here for a little bit. Princess, you know it's dangerous out here at night. If I don't return in 10 minutes, you can come back and check on me. Jurian seems unconvinced, but she eventually nods. Fine, but keep your guard up, Princess. I watch the two knights as they head back. I see Garland put his arm around Jurian's waist, pulling her closer. I turn away from the sight, ignoring the heavy feeling in my stomach. I just practice the swings for 5 more minutes. The only thing I can hear in the clearing while I practice is my shallow breathing and the wind in my ears. Something breaks my concentration, however. I see a glimmer of color in the forest and I instantly stop, my hands growing tense on the wooden sword. What was that? I glance around at my surroundings and then I freeze when I feel a hand on my shoulder. I can feel someone breathe on my neck. This all feels familiar. Is this Klaude? Oh god. I'm running out of save slots. Sword. I'm pretty sure I recognize Claude's hand, but because I know it's him, I also know what he'd want me to do. I duck away from his hand and turn quickly to point with my sword. The tip of the wood is at his neck, and for a few stun moments, I think I've won. Even Claude looks surprised. It really is him. But then Claude's hands have moved, and he has one hand over my wrist and the other on my sword. That was right. Good, Carly, you realized you had an opening, but you broke your concentration. Claude. Claude removes his hands, allowing me to lower my sword. I'm sorry, Carly. I feel my breath catch in my throat when Claude holds out the rose pendant I got for him. I feel my cheeks flush. It's a cute pendant. You accidentally left this beautiful thing in my room when I came to return it. Return it? Yes, you left it in my room, and so I only thought it appropriate to bring it back to you. Does he really think I left it there on accident? Why would I leave it in your room on accident? What? I bought it for you, and I wanted to give it to you, but you were acting so strangely, and... Claude's eyes widened, the surprise clear on his face. Carly, you bought this for me? Why does he look so shocked? Yes, dumbass, I did! Claude looks at me in awe for a few moments. His eyes go back down to the locket. He traces a finger on the intricate shape, his eyebrows slowly furrowing. It's to thank you for everything you've done for me. Carly. It's beautiful. He lets the chain fall through his fingers as he stares at the rose pendant with adoration. I feel my heartbeat stutter as he turns to regard me with the same gentle smile. He leans forward and my breathing stops as he reaches out to hold up my glass slipper necklace. He's standing so close to me. You really are a good person, Carly. You completed your second good deed. I think some kind of congratulations is in order. Is there anything you want that I can give to you? I look at him and notice his smile doesn't reach his eyes. He still looks so sad. I feel like there's so much that I want from Claude, but I don't want to ask for something that might make him sad. I want you to smile. Claude looks at me, his expression puzzled. He chuckles softly. But I am smiling. No, I want a real smile, one that isn't so sad. Ah, you saw right through me. We've been partners for long enough. How about this one? He smiles a little awkwardly, and the curve of his lips looks more embarrassed than bright. I raise an eyebrow in confusion. No need for that look, darling. I really do appreciate your worry for me. Oh. Karma suddenly stops, eyes wide. He puts a hand on his chest and takes a step away from me, his fingers clutching at the fabric of his shirt. You okay, man? Claude has a pained expression on his face, only making me more anxious. Not now! Are you okay? What's wrong? Don't worry about it. He lowers his hand with a pained smile slowly fading from his face. This does little to reassure me. Was it my fault you were locked in your room for so long? He just looks so pained to be anywhere near me. No, most definitely not. I was feeling under the weather. And also bitter. Bitter? Why would he feel bitter? But it's not for you to worry about, darling. For now, we should head back. It's late, and you need rest. I just got back from patrol, so I'd like to rest as well. Is there anything else I could do for you? No, you've already done enough. Clutches the rose locket to his chest and sighs out a little with a gentle smile. This smile feels real to me. It's a beautiful gift, and I'll treasure it always. Thank you, Carly. Now, shall we head back? I nod at him, and we silently walk back to the Marken. We make it back to the tavern. I feel tired, but also lighter than I have for weeks. Klaude wishes me a good night before slowly walking off to his room, holding the rose locket I gave him tightly. I don't think that was the right choice. Let me see what happens if I choose hug. Oh, no. Or maybe in this case it doesn't matter. Let's try this one. Huh? Klaude looks at me in surprise. Thinks I'm being foolish for making such a request, doesn't he? I shouldn't have said anything. Before I can say anything else, he takes a step forward and wraps me in his arms. Oh! He pulls me towards him, and in those moments of silence, all I can hear is his heartbeat resounding in his chest. I can feel his warmth all around me, and his fingers clasped gently at my back. It feels so strange. My heart is racing and my knees feel weak. That was the right choice. A hug. Okay. Something like this? He speaks right into my ear. It's a surprisingly pleasant feeling. Suddenly, Klaude makes a noise of distress as he steps away from me. All the warmth that was pressed against me 1 moment ago is gone. Karma suddenly stops, eyes wide. He puts the hand on his chest and takes a step away from me, his fingers clutching at the fabric of his shirt. Yeah, okay, so we saw this already, so I'm just gonna click through all this. Okay. So, we're gonna hit the save button there. Today I'm walking around town to do some errands with Klaude. It's been quite a while since we've done this. Though we're here to run errands, there's also something else that drew me into town today. Yesterday, Waltz came back to the market and told us of an announcement the king was making today. Apparently that announcement had been posted for at least a week's time, but Waltz had only caught on to it after hearing about it from the crowds after one of his puppet shows. I'm not sure what this announcement entails, but I feel that I need to see the king make it with my own eyes. I can see more people milling about than usual, which means most of them must be waiting for the king to speak. I have a bad feeling about this. It is not strange for the king to make announcements, but this feels so sudden. And with everything else that's happened to me, I feel on edge. Wow, Carly, you made these bags sound a lot lighter than they'd actually be. Stop complaining, Miss Karma. You get valuable experience out of carrying bags. Roasted! Seeing Klaude complain is amusing, especially since I know he can handle the load. I feel like a servant. And what does that make me when you make me carry all the bags? An assistant? I roll my eyes at him. We're both working at the Markin, you know. And then the thought strikes me. What do you even do at the Markin? Klaude looks surprised at my question, but then he quickly smiles at me. I train the knights, of course. I also attract customers with my beautiful reputation. I start laughing and Claude's face flushes. Darling, I get the feeling you're laughing at me. I wonder... We finish up the rest of our errands and then sit in the town plaza to rest. Klaude leaves briefly and then returns with a slice of cake for both of us to share as a snack. A lot of things I want to ask him, and now feels like the right time to do so. May I ask you a question? Of course, darling, anything. Do you enjoy dressing like a woman? I don't mind it, really. I appreciate the beauty in anything. You girls get to wear quite an assortment of lovely dresses and makeup. It's quite beautiful. I feel more comfortable in my own clothes, but I don't mind dresses. I guess if you've had to wear a dress for so long, you'd get used to it. I have another one. And that would be... When I was in your room the other day, you spoke about a woman. Were you talking about the witch who cursed you? Oh no, the woman I was talking about... He suddenly goes silent and lowers his head. His expression fades to something more of melancholy, and I feel my heart lurch. Maybe I shouldn't have brought this up. Maybe not, but maybe you'll get information out of him. To my surprise, Klaude continues talking. Shortly after I came to Anjil, there was a woman I met whose smile was as radiant as sunshine. She was beautiful, and when she laughed, everything felt right about the world. Hearing him talk about her makes me uncomfortable. Am I jealous? Klaude watches me quietly, as if he's measuring my expression. Eventually, he goes back to speaking. I knew her for many months. Time passed, and I thought we were truly in love, and then He goes silent for a few moments, his eyes distant, his expression pained. Well, some things happened and I realized she only loved me because of my curse. She was drawn to me just as any other woman is. She seemed so genuine in comparison to the other woman, but in the end... Klaude trails off and lets out an exasperated sigh. You were truly in love with her. I was. I've dated many women, but I've never fallen in love with someone who has honestly loved me back. So the last person he loved was that one woman. Klaude looks at me and for a few moments he does not speak. Carly, do you mind if I ask you a question? No, I don't mind. Have you ever loved anyone? My mother, of course. I was referring to a romantic kind of love. Romantic kind of love? What does that kind of love feel like? Allow me to enlighten you. He smiles at me, and it's surprisingly genuine. It can feel simultaneously like floating and sinking. Your heart stutters, and you worry about small things, about offending this other person in some way. You wonder if they'll like what you're wearing, or if they would prefer a sandwich to a casserole when you treat them for dinner. You begin to find beauty in all the things that they do. Their presence makes you feel complete in a way you'd never thought of before. You try and imagine life without that person, and you find you cannot. To even consider such a thing is painful, so much so that it feels like it might break your heart. Klaude continues talking, but my mind is already whirling. Though he phrases things in a way that still feels unnecessarily dramatic, I feel a tinge of familiarity. The things he's describing. Those are things when I feel with him. Before I can say anything, we hear the sound of hooves and the both of us turn. I can see a procession of knights along with the king on his horse. He normally rides into town like this, but today he's not smiling, and there are way too many knights riding with him. And is that Sir Alcaster? Let's go find a place to stand and watch. As you wish. Klaude walks with me into the crowd, gathering around the king, and we find a spot to spectate at the very edge, closer to the alleyways. My beloved citizens of Anjou, I've come before you today to make an important announcement. Ever since I was given this crown, I have sworn to live my life for the people and to rule in all fairness, so that our kingdom could enjoy great peace. The crowd breaks into applause. I stare at the king, an uneasy feeling in my stomach, but I notice that there's sadness in his eyes, though he's smiling. Then I notice Sir Alcaster appears to be hiding a smile. I don't like where this is going. The king's speech goes on for long minutes after that, with him detailing the commitments he made, the goals he set, and finally his love for the people. The audience around us claps and cheers, but Klaude and I are silent. Something's not right. I nod in response. To this day, I keep this promise. I would never break this oath, for it is the foundation on which I rule. The audience claps again, but I'm silent, watching the king intently. Unfortunately, the unwelcome news that I bring you today gives me reason to hand this foundation over to someone else. I have fallen terminally ill. King's proclamation is met with shocked and angry chattering from the audience. I cannot hear anything that's being said over the cacophony of voices, but I know that the audience is dissenting. I stiffen as I stare at the king. He's lying. I can tell by the firm set of his jaw and the way his eyes flicker across the crowd faster than they ought to. The king has lied to me so many times before that I can recognize when he does it. I know that this unfortunate news must come as a shock, but this is an illness for which there is no current cure. As for the question of my successor, he trails off for a few moments, and then I think I see something in his eyes that hints at urgency, but I'm not sure why. Crown Princess Emmeline is unmarried and still too young to rule on her own. I feel a pang of irritation and confusion. Another lie, Emmeline could rule just fine with the help of Sir Mithros and others. After much thought, I have come to the conclusion that our kingdom, which still continues to face danger from witches, is best put in the capable hands of the commander of the Order of Caldera, Sir Alcaster. What? I cannot hide my shock. The rest of the audience reacts similarly, their sudden outbursts a testament to their confusion. While I'll be providing support and assistance from the sidelines, I cannot, in all good grace, continue to wear this crown when I know I cannot serve my people as they deserve. Simply put, I believe that the witches have gained more power in the recent months and that Sir Alcaster is best suited to deal with these conflicts. The fairy tale curse runs more rampant these days, and there have been more reports of incidents involving magic. The murmuring continues, except now the folks sound panicked. This can't be true. I do not miss the reluctance in the king's next words. Sir Alcaster has also suggested a number of remedies to our laws, especially considering our security and work hours. I believe that Sir Alcaster can better rule this country in these turbulent times. Please show him all the love and loyalty you've shown me. That bastard. Klaude has a foul expression on his face, and his words feel heavy, even in a low whisper. I know the king. He takes every duty upon himself, and he would never hand his crown to someone else. When Sir Alcaster comes to stand on the podium, he silences them with a glare. Citizens of Anjou, I swear to you that I'll serve you as well as Gennaro has. Gennaro? I don't know how it's fucking pronounced. That being said, I also believe some changes will need to be made. Sir Alcaster continues to speak. He mentions things like curfews for safety, extended work hours, and additional taxes to go towards the knights, but I'm slowly beginning to block out the drone of his voice. What's going on? Sir, no. Alcaster must have done something to force the king into this charade. King stands behind Alcaster with his hands clasped, his eyes alert, but there's a helplessness to them that I've never seen before. It isn't long before the crowd's unsettled murmuring becomes agitated whispering. I'm stunned when Klaude cups his hand to his mouth and starts shouting. There's only one king! King Gennaro! Klaude grips my hand and starts leaning around the outskirts so that people cannot spot him as he continues to shout. The crowd begins to chant along with Klaude, and then they draw nearer to the stage where my father and Alcaster are standing. There's only one king! King Gennaro! There's only one king! King Gennaro! Let's go, Carly. The crowd is right next to the platform now, and the chant carries on. Klaude pulls me behind him, but my mind is on my father and on his desperate eyes. Hours later, the Markins Tavern is chaotic. People are talking over each other, trying to relay the scene that they saw in town today. Every visitor here is talking about what they witnessed. I've been in a corner of the room this entire time, trying to understand everyone, but failing. Delora and Parfait are not here to calm all of this chaos. Hey, princess, how you feeling? I almost jump when I hear Rumpel's voice. Surprised? I can feel when a damsel's in distress, milady. I'm really not in the mood for your flirting, Rumpel. Oh, my apologies. I thought you might have wanted some cheering up. Where's your partner? He went out to town to survey the situation. Carmen doesn't do anything around the tavern, but he does a whole lot for you, doesn't he? I suppose that's the least a man in love can do. I feel myself blush. What is Rumpel going on about? Princess, you're pink. I am not. My mind feels all scrambled now. This is all Rumpel's fault. Thankfully, before Rumpel can continue talking, the door opens and Delora walks inside to call all the Markin boarders into the reception room. When I step into the reception room, I'm surprised to see two familiar figures standing beside Parfait. Emmeline and Rod. Both of them look downtrodden and discouraged. Everyone is noticeably shocked as they step inside. The prince and princess? Where did they come from? What's happening at the palace? What of Queen Ophelia? We need silence in the room, everyone. Delora raised her voice, effectively causing everyone to pause. She glances at Parfait, who nods and then turns to look at Rod and Emmeline. Princess Emmeline, if you would tell everyone what you told Delora and I. The room is unnaturally quiet as Emmeline begins her story. She starts with the events of a week ago. In the middle of a family dinner, Alcaster burst in with soldiers and seized her, Rod, and Ophelia in front of the king. Sir Alcaster said that if the king didn't hand over his crown, he would kill us. We had no idea a coup would be staged. 3 of them were taken down to the prison cells, with Ophelia taken to a separate cell. Sir Fitzgerald helped us escape, but only just barely. Fritz, are you openly disobeying your father? I hope he's safe. Alcaster wanted to kill the king. I'm sure that he still will. But he has no reason to. The king already handed over his crown. I speak before even realizing. Everyone stares at me, including Rod and Emmeline. Alcaster's a foul man. I only think he used her throne now, without violence, because he wants less resistance from the people. He never spoke up to the king to my father before. Did you just say father? It's a long story, Em. Emmeline looks between Rod and I, her expression confused. You know each other? We do. Emmeline looks like she wants to say something, but she remains silent. Our mother is still inside the palace. We need to save her somehow, and Sir Fitzgerald. What happened to Fritz? We don't know. He helped us escape, but we were spotted at the last minute. He told us to run ahead and leave him behind. We didn't see him again after that, and we couldn't just wait, so Rod brought me here. Right now, we need to piece together this situation as quickly as we can. Sorry. Right now, we need to piece together this situation as quickly as we can, and then we need to figure out a way to save the king. I knew Alcaster was up to something, but I never thought it would escalate into this. Jurian, what do you know about this? Girl and I weren't stripped of our titles because we disobeyed Alcaster's orders. It was because we overheard Alcaster plotting something and tried to tell the king of his plot. We gave him a warning, but the king did not believe us, not with Alcaster and Mithros whispering in his ears. The king didn't think Alcaster was possible of such a betrayal. He thought we were trying to turn him against Alcaster for our own gain. And so Alcaster stripped us of our titles and banished us from the palace. Lady Parfait found us, and while we were happy to help out at the tavern, we also intended to eventually do something about the mess in the palace. So, Alcaster's been planning to do this all this time. When we part for the night, Parfait and Delora take Rod and Emmeline to a room they can share. It's been said that they'll be harbored here at the market, a place that Emmeline apparently knew about but never came to because she wasn't cursed. Well, Rod did say that his family knew he was cursed. I noticed Emmeline looking at me many times throughout the night, but she never asked me anything. The next few days are a muddled mess. Everyone's busy trying to find out what happened and what can be done to help the king. I'm sweeping the tavern half-heartedly one day, my thoughts on everything but my chores. Everyone's been trying to do something to help out the last few days. Though I've gone on quite a few trips into town with Klaude to search for information, I haven't been able to find much. I feel so useless. I'm finally on my break, so I decide to go into the reception room to rest. When I step inside, I notice Emmeline sitting on the couch. She waves me over as soon as she sees me. She hasn't really openly spoken to me since she's been here. Parfait and Delora have been trying to hide her so as not to cause a ruckus in the market. Rumors are dangerous now. You're Carly, right? Yes. Rod told me about your curse. He said that you're the king's blood daughter. I'm really sorry. I'm shocked by Emmeline's sudden outburst. What? I didn't mean to, but I took your place. How could I forget my own sister? We're not blood related. That doesn't matter. I would love you regardless. Emmeline was always trying to take me out and do things with me back when I was still in the palace. I distanced myself from her because I thought the king loved her more than he loved me. I still think maybe he does. We weren't close. I barely spoke to you, or Rod. Didn't he tell you that? He did. But perhaps now we can turn over a new leaf. Elaine's as stubborn as always. She's just trying to be nice to you, man. I have more things to worry about than being her friend. I gotta go. I'll look before the conversation can continue. Irish, goodbye. Let her. She's just trying to be nice to you. God damn. Always, it's like she takes 2 steps forwards and then 3 steps back. Like, goddamn, she just wants to be nice to you. But Hannah and Kirsty remained in the palace. Would Sir Alcaster have taken me hostage too? Probably. The hours tick by, and as the tavern is emptied for the day, Delora calls everyone together to explain what she and Parfait have pieced together about the situation. Alright everyone, we've come upon some new information. The first is that Alcaster has cracked down on the riots in town. Anyone seen protesting his rule is thrown in prison. The king always valued the people's opinions. Alcaster does not want opinions. He only wants to rule with an iron fist. Our patrols have shown that there is overall more security in the palace and around the town. They've been charged with keeping people quiet in whatever ways they possibly can. As we heard from the prince and princess, things are most turbulent in the palace. The king is still alive, but it is unlikely he will stay that way very long. One thing is clear. Given Alcaster's motives to take over the kingdom, I doubt he'll rest until the king is dead. The king's men have turned against him, and even if there are loyal soldiers still left in the palace, we cannot contact them right now. Rescuing the king and queen will be on us, then. We just so happen to have people in this tavern that have a shot at rescuing them. Prince Rod has the key to a secret passage we can use to break into the palace. Secret passageway? But only the king and commander of the knights have the key to that passage. So how did they get a copy? Who's gonna join us on this mission? Jurian and Garland both volunteer immediately, followed shortly by Klaude and Waltz. I'll go too. I thought it was gonna make me choose. I say a lot has happened in like 20 minutes. The room goes quiet as I step forward and volunteer. Princess, we can't just allow you to put yourself in danger. I look at Klaude, who's staring at me, shocked. I took up the sword so I could protect those I care about. Princess, you don't have nearly enough practice. But I can help. I still have time to learn. I agree with Parfait, Princess. The palace isn't the place for you to try out your newfound sword skills. Then you may as well chain me up, because I refuse to stay here while you all go save the king. Princess. Well, she's been practicing with the rest of us. Don't encourage her, Jurian. But it's not like any of us can stop her anyway. You're right, the princess is quite stubborn. Klaude agrees with Jurian, but I can tell he does not like the idea of me going along with him. If only we had the time to get reinforcements from Karma's country. Karma's country? Yeah, he's a prince, motherfucker! Brigantia. How is it possible that a Brigantian citizen can simply ask for reinforcements? Well, about that. Karma's the crown prince of Brigantia. There's some shuffling around the room, and as everyone turns to go look at Klaude, Rumple, Anise, Rod, and Emmeline all look shocked by this revelation. You're the last prince? Lost prince. Sounds like such a tragedy, doesn't it? Anise suddenly looks distressed as she fiddles her thumbs. All this time I never knew. I'm sorry, Your Highness. There's no need for formalities, Anise. But I'm the lost prince, after all. I keep my lineage a secret because right now I'm just a normal commoner. But you're the prince. Couldn't you still ask for reinforcements? Even if I did ask for reinforcements, I'm pretty sure they would never come in time. Besides, I can't go back to my kingdom yet. He can't go back while he's still cursed. The conversation continues in a more solemn tone. Eventually we start speaking of our plan to enter the palace. When the details are all finalized, I repeat everything to myself to make certain that I know what's meant to happen. Waltz will lead us to the palace, then, and Jurian and Garland will follow right behind him, watching for the most immediate enemies. Leave it to us. We'll deal with any resistance before it touches you, Princess. And Karma will be watching from the back along with Delora. A witch and a prince for backup. Delora smiles wryly. Klaude rolls his shoulders. I'd like to think of us as more like the closing act. It's getting good, y'all. Though if all goes according to plan, we'll have no need for either the opening or closing act. It's a small task force, which is better. The smaller, the better. The last thing we want is to be noticed. We decide to meet again over the course of the next week to finalize our plan and carefully survey the situation in town before parting. Klaude has taken to training me, Jurian, and Garland at the same time. Just the other day, he had all of us attack him together. Even though I am nowhere near as good as a trained knight, I still managed to hit him once. I feel like things are coming to some sort of conclusion, and yet I still haven't done 3 good deeds. Today we finalized our plans for getting into the palace. We have mapped out where the king and Ophelia must be in the prisons, where the guards might be positioned, and how we plan on sneaking in. Well, if this succeeds, that might be your final good deed. I sit down on my bed and am about to lay down when I hear something. Oh hey. Hello, love. My, you're red. Were you thinking about me? I said he has one hand on his chest tonight, but then he's been doing that more often lately. I notice it during practices and sometimes when I catch his eyes. Is he sick? Darling? I shake myself at the sound of Claude's voice. What if I was changing? You could have knocked. Well, you didn't seem to have a problem when you walked in on me changing without announcing yourself. He's got a point. He's got a point there. That's different. He strolls inside and steps closer to me. He smiles at me mischievously. Oh, how so? Cat got your tongue? Klaude shakes his head, his smile softening. I really didn't mean to come in and disturb you. I just have something important I needed to say to you. Klaude kneels in front of me and furrows his eyebrows. Oh. I want to insist you reconsider going to the palace with us. As Parfandler has said many times, it'll be dangerous. Are you begging us right now? Nothing you say is going to change my mind. I want to do what I can to help everyone. Yes, and that terrifies me. Terrifies you? If your stubbornness leads you to putting your neck out there for someone, I would never forgive myself for your injuries. If you want to help me, stay here where you'll be safe. I'm not some damsel that needs protected. Carly, all I want is for you to stay safe so that when we save your father, you can face him with a smile. I won't be able to face my father unless I'm one of the people to save him. Stubborn as always. I sigh, irritation welling up in my stomach at the look on Claude's face. He's calling me stubborn, but he's being stubborn about this. You're both stubborn, it's perfect. You said I've improved with my sword fighting. You have. You've improved so much because of your resilience and drive, and because you're genuinely interested. It's because I have a good teacher. Oh, your compliment is gentle music to my ears. Your compliments mean a lot to me, Carly. My eyes fixate on a soft smile and the gentle crinkle at his eyes. Our eyes lock, and for a few moments I'm aware of a slight energy between us. Can you two kiss, please? Can I get that as a thumbnail? I glance away hurriedly, not entirely sure of what would happen if I kept staring at him. My heart beats unsteadily in my chest. Earlier today, I comforted your sister when she started crying about the things that had happened in the palace. Emmeline? Why would he comfort her? I saw her crying downstairs in the reception room earlier today, without anyone there. She's a rather sweet girl. I keep thinking the two of you are completely different. You're both strong-willed and stubborn, but she wears her emotions on her sleeve, while you keep it all inside. I'm not hiding anything if that's what you're implying. Mother always told me crying was weak. Klaude stands up and leans forward. Before I know it, I'm in his arms. Carly, I'm always here for you. I'm gonna say thank you. You never need to thank me, Carly. But you've done so much for me. It's not just the sword fighting, it's your patience, your company, your saving me when I needed help. That's not true. I'm pretty sure I'm the most selfish person in this tavern. All I ever want is things for myself. Ah, that was the right choice. I've never thought you were selfish, Klaude. He puts a hand to my cheek and looks at me solemnly. You don't think that me wanting you is... Suddenly he steps back, his hand on his chest again, his breathing heavy. I stare at him with wide eyes. Klaude, are you okay? I'm fine. He sighs out slowly, but he sounds obviously pained. I'll go get a niece. No! I'm fine. I'm fine. I swear, it's just a spell of dizziness. But you... He manages a small, tight-lipped smile before he straightens and shakes his head. His hands are visibly shaking. I must be tired. But Klaude... Don't tell anyone about this, okay? I don't want them to worry. Why is he always so stubborn? He's obviously in pain. I clench my hands into fists as I frown at him. Why must you always be so secretive? You're keeping something from me, Klaude. I'm sorry, Carly. Klaude abruptly leaves the room, leaving me with my fragmented thoughts. Chapter 9, The Rescue. I don't know. I think we will end this here because I gotta record something else today. So it might be another part of this. You know, I'm getting really into this story, and I would love to see how this pans out. So if you're on YouTube and you get 2 Cinderella phenomenons in a row, you know why. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, hit the like button. If you'd like to see more, hit the subscribe button, as well as the bell icon to get notified when I post. Sharing the video would be appreciated as well. I've got a link tree in the description that has all my links if you'd like to support me in any way, shape, or form. And yeah, I'm curious to see where this goes. So I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.